Hello and good morning, everyone. My name is Naiva Flory, and I'm joined today by my fellow council member, Sherry Packard. And I'm coming to you from the beautiful island of Kauai. She is all the way in Montreal, so we're coming to you from all time zones here in the US. And we're really excited to be sharing about this incredible topic today about embracing change and empowering women through menopause, as this is such an important subject in our life. And so, super excited about this subject. I'm honored to have some incredible guests on here with us today. I'm excited to hear their stories. But before we get started, I want to go ahead and pass it over to Sherry so she can share a little in the news piece, and then we will read our pledge so that we can set the tone for our call.
Sounds good to me. Okay. Oh. Mm. Okay, can everybody see that? Awesome. Okay. So, can menopause change your gut microbiome? So, we want to know. I'm guessing that most of you in our Million Mom community already know the answer to this, but I thought that this was an interesting addition to our call. And it, as Nayeva just said, it will definitely set the tone for what we will be talking about. So, once you're in menopause, symptoms like hot flashes and poor sleep and mood swings can likely occur, but researchers have started to notice that the gut microbiome starts to change too, and the changes are starting to raise eyebrows. So we know that the microbiome changes before and after menopause, but we're still not sure what the implications are for our health, says a specialist. It's fascinating that there's a connection between gut bacteria and a woman's changing hormones, but the research is in its infancy, so we can't say that gaining or losing a certain strain of bacteria is part of healthy aging. So this doctor stresses that although menopause is associated with a change in which bacteria thrive in your intestines, it is still possible to maintain a healthy gut microbiome with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables and active lifestyle, and by avoiding stress the best you can. Now, when I read this, I got very excited because this is a doctor, right? And she is recognizing and sharing the fact that she believes that these are some of the factors that will greatly influence our gut microbiome during menopause. So I thought that that in and of itself was fantastic because it shows that there's more awareness being created. Why aim for a healthy gut microbiome? Well, I know that we know this as well, but the gut microbiome is integral to holistic health. After all, the trillions of bacteria known as the gut flora populating our intestines have the potential to preserve our health and improve our mood. Research suggests that our gut bugs play a vital role in a range of conditions, including obesity, diabetes, irritable bowel syndrome, inflammatory bowel disease, depression, and cardiovascular disease. And scientists say a sign of a healthy gut flora is one that is teeming with a broad range of bacteria. So there was a study that looked at the gut flora of more than 9,000 people and found that healthy aging was associated with a diverse set of bacteria, while a lack of bacterial diversity was observable in several conditions, including unhealthy aging, characterized by rapid declines in cognition, strength, and mobility, and cardiovascular health. And coincidentally, a lot of these issues begin to arise during menopause, which we know is not a coincidence. How the gut microbiome changes during menopause. So the microbes in the gut are integral to maintaining the estrobolome, a collection of bacteria in the gut, which helps regulate the sex hormones released by the ovaries, estrogen and progesterone. One study looked at the gut microbes of nearly 1,000 Hispanic men, 1,000 postmenopausal Hispanic women, and close to 300 premenopausal Hispanic women. It found that the postmenopausal women had microbiomes more similar to the men than the premenopausal women. There are microbes that premenopausal women have that help with the retention of estrogen, which seems to decline in postmenopausal women. It could be that as the hormone estrogen goes down, the bacteria just has less to work with. But we do know that higher estrogen is associated with greater microbial diversity, and that's good for a woman's general health. As the diversity decreases, we see increased risk of weight gain, as well as metabolic disease and cardiovascular disease. So another thing I love about this article is that we're slowly seeing how it unfolds and just how integral the gut microbiome is to menopause, which again is no surprise, but I'm really happy to see this information out there. Another review published in June of 2021 looked at 15 different studies and found that the female gut microbiome is linked to estrogen levels. And as estrogen goes down, the microbiome loses its diversity, increasing the risk of obesity and endometrial cancer. The role of healthy eating before and after menopause, another amazing addition to this article. We know that estrogen levels can help with how bacteria move around the intestines and organs. And we know that as hormones drop, it can impact the lining of the gut. And as the gut barrier becomes more permeable, we are susceptible to inflammatory diseases. And yet, a diet rich in prebiotic fibers from a wide array of vegetables and plants and healthy fats can feed the bacteria that help fight inflammation. Feeding the bacteria that plays a role in tamping down inflammation is essential. Another review published looked at 3 studies and a trend where postmenopausal women tended to have a higher concentration of intestinal Bilophila, a genus of bacteria that leads to inflammation and mucosal damage in the lining of the gut, which then triggers inflammatory reactions in various tissues. The inflammatory reactions are linked to an increased risk of weight gain, weaker bones, and dementia. So I'm going to stop the share there. I'm going to provide the link for this article in the chat so that you can read it yourselves and then share it, because it's such great information in terms of showing that link with the gut microbiome, right? When we say everything begins in the gut, we truly mean everything begins in the gut, everything is linked to the gut. So if we focus on our gut health, it stands to show how all the other areas of our body, all the other areas of our health slowly start to fall into place because things can flow. So back to you, Naiva.
Thank you so much for that, Sherry. Such great information. And, we're always learning and evolving. And it's so important that we share what we know and that we share what we find out there. And so that's why we like to bring these in the news pieces to you. And before I go any further, I would like to ask Boo if you'll read the pledge for us. Let me just bring it up.
Sure, thank you so much. Million Mom Movement Pledge. I pledge to defend the health of myself and my family. I pledge to choose organic foods that are minimally processed and free of man-made ingredients. I pledge to read labels and educate myself on all aspects of clean living. I understand that my actions today will positively impact the health and environment of future generations. I am committed to sharing this movement of many. I am the Million Mom Movement.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Boo. And yes, the Million Mom Movement is really this movement of many, because we want to be inclusive of all people. We're all caregivers. We all care about our health and the environment and the planet, and those that we love, our family members, whether we've had children or not, whether we, have been designated as mothers or not, we all are caring humans on this planet, and that's what really matters. And so we're on this mission together to get this word out. And so I just want to share a little bit and prelude this presentation a little bit with what are the stages of menopause? What can we look forward to as we're going into this phase of life? So menopause is the permanent ending of your menstruation cycle, of when you become a woman and you start this cycle, and it allows you to make children throughout your life. And once you go through menopause, obviously you're ending that cycle, so you're going into the next phase of life, which is really beautiful, transition. And I hear there can be some challenges that come with it as well. And so we really want to make it a smooth transition and help support people in having all the tools necessary, so that way you can feel empowered on this journey and be able to go through it smoothly. And so perimenopause or menopause transition can begin 8 to 10 years before menopause, when your ovaries gradually produce less estrogen. So I guess I would be in that phase now. It can usually start in your 40s. Perimenopause lasts until menopause, the point when your ovaries stop releasing eggs. In the last 1 or 2 years of perimenopause, the drop in estrogen accelerates. At this stage, many people may experience menopause symptoms, but you're still having menstrual cycles during the time, and you can still get pregnant during this time as well. Now, moving into menopause, this is the point when you no longer have your menstrual periods. At this stage, your ovaries have stopped releasing eggs and stopped producing most of their estrogen. And this can last, it can last anywhere from months to years as you're transitioning into this time. And then post-menopause, this is the name given to the time after you haven't had your period for at least a whole year, so 12 months, and you never will for the rest of your life. So during this stage, the menopausal symptoms such as hot flashes may get better. However, some people continue to experience some of the symptoms for up to a decade. And so it can be a really long transition. And as a result of the lower estrogen level, people in the postmenopausal phase are at an increased risk for several health conditions such as osteoporosis and heart disease. So more good reasons to really nourish our bodies and, support ourselves, because this can be a long transition, but we can make it an enjoyable transition as it is a part of life. It's a phase in life that we must go through. So the normal ages for menopause are generally around 50 years old. Like I mentioned, premenopause or perimenopause can start in your middle, beginning to mid 40s, and then it can go into your mid 50s and up till you're 60 in the postmenopausal time. So this is like a good span of life, and we want to make sure that we are really supporting our bodies. So some of the signs could be like hot flashes, and this can also be known as vasomotor symptoms, a sudden feeling of warmth that spreads all over your body pretty quickly. Also night sweats. It can be hot or cold flashes, or night sweats, like cold sweats, as well as like feeling fevery, hot flash kind of sweats. And then dryness in your private area, discomfort in your private area, especially during intimacy, urinary urgency, a pressing need to go to the bathroom frequently, difficulty sleeping. If you have insomnia, this could be another sign that you're in that perimenopausal time. So these are all signs to look out for. Also, emotional changes, irritability, mood swings, mild depression, these can all come on as part of this change of life. And, you are releasing a lot of emotions during that time, because you are transitioning from being able to have children and moving out of that phase of life. And so whether you've had children or not, that's a big step to step out of. Other symptoms could be dry skin, dry eyes, dry mouth, breast tenderness, worsening of premenstrual syndrome. So worse PMS symptoms possibly can happen. Irregular periods can happen during this time of transition. You could have immediate racing heart palpitations, headaches or migraines, joint and muscle aches or pains, changes in your libido, difficulty concentrating, or maybe like memory loss or maybe memory lapses. So cognitive function is very important. Some women experience weight gain as well as hair loss or thinning. And so these are all changes in your hormone levels. So a lot of these symptoms are caused by a change in your hormones. And so these are all things that can be addressed. If we're supporting our hormones, we're supporting our nutrition, then we can support our bodies to really have a smooth transition during this time. So without going any further into that, I would love to have our guest come on and share her story, as she's already been experiencing the superfoods, and she's always sharing her story and her weekly lunch and learns and things. I love everything that she shares on her social media. And so I'm really excited to hear your story today. Boo, if you'd like to introduce yourself and share your story with us. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much to the Million Mom movement. I think these conversations are essential, and this conversation should begin at 30. so that young women know what they're going into. Yeah, I've been practicing plant-based lifestyle, very high raw, all raw for 10 years. So total of 20, I'm in my 21st year of being raw and just plant-based. And my thing is, what is menopause? It's like, what? What is it? You don't have to suffer. Um, it's just incredible. So the reason why I went raw and I went plant-based, let's say plant-based, that's easier to digest, is because of the enzyme factor. And it it's all about the enzymes in the gut, and the enzymes are our source of life. And so when I found Purium, when I found this nutritional support, it fell in alignment with what I was doing and helped me maintain that nutrition. And then the other thing is the telomere factor. So those are two things to look up, the telomeres and the enzymes. And the longer that we can make enzymes, the younger our internal being will be, because enzymes deplete. Babies have to develop them, and elder people often lose them. And so, and that's the sign of internal aging, the enzymes and the telomeres shortening. And so that was my reason for embracing a whole food, plant-based, high raw, because it's raw foods that have the enzymes. And that's why this nutritional program is so in alignment with keeping a youthful internal energy. And the other thing that I've embraced is intermittent fasting. So, as we get older, our bodies need time to rest. They need time to clean out. And the longer window that we can give ourselves of like having a break from food, but still being nourished, the more our bodies will reduce the inflammation. And so there's a number of programs within if you go into the, what's it called? The web page, not the web page, but where we have all the blogs, the blog page. There's lots of information on following different Purium schedules where you can intermittent fast, and you still get to do the proteins, the amino acids, and then you're sustained with like a light juice with the aloe digest is great. While you're intermittent fasting, there's a lot, the kamut juice, they all have less than 5 calories, and they won't break your intermittent fast, but they keep you high nutrient density. And that's what this program delivers. And this is perfect as we get older, is to have that high nutrient density, but not the heavy carbohydrates. Carbohydrates turn to sugar, and sugar are our enemy. They're diabetes 3 is Alzheimer's. It's sugar related, and in the brain, the inflammation. And I just posted something on cheese. Cheese turns to sugar, and cheese has endomorphines in it. What is the last syllable there? Morphine, connected to opioids. And so we have to really be cognizant, and we do it by subtraction by addition. So if you add more of this in, you'll want less of that, because the good bacteria, as Sherry said, will flourish, and the bad bacteria that is desiring the cheese, the carbohydrates, they'll get pushed down, and your body will crave more greens. You'll crave more oxygenated foods. So I have a question for you. What will you do for yourself today that your future self will thank you for? And it's like not just being here, but what action will you attach to what you're hearing that you will thank yourself for years to come? So thank you for letting me share. I hope that helped.
Absolutely. It's so important. And I really appreciate you sharing, some of the things that you're using. There are so many things to help balance your hormones and to help you have the better, cognitive function, to balance your hormones, to have the better memory, all the things, right? Because they are all intertwined together. Do you have any specific story or anything that you'd like to share around this with your own experience or any of your clients that you've helped?
Yeah, so one of my clients, she was reluctant to try it. And within the first week of drinking the apothecary, she was calling me. She's like, Boo, I slept like a baby. She said, I have been in menopause and I haven't been able to sleep through the night. And that tart cherry juice had me sleeping like a baby, had me sleeping like a baby. She was so happy. And then the amino acids, they really help to keep our internal systems working. And they help to satiate us as well. Protein is essential for satiation. And as we've heard, we don't need to eat a little bit less. We just need to be more, um, choose our food, our nutrition more wisely so that it's nourishing us and not just adding weight. Because if we're not burning it, it's just going onto our hips and our backs and our legs. So the amino acids, I think, but the whole core program is just designed in a really succinct way to sustain us through all walks of life.
Absolutely. I have some clients that I've helped as well, and just the ultimate lifestyle transformation as on its own has helped many women just to regain better clarity, a better balanced hormone, better just something to grab and go and be able to stay nourished. And I think having that balanced nourishment can really help with so many other factors, right? It can help with, the brain fog of not knowing what to eat or maybe getting hangry or maybe, having hormonal swings and things like that. Is like if you can get the proper nutrition in and really flood your body with those nutrients, then your body can do its job properly to stay healthy and balance your mood, balance your hormones, do all the things, all functions, right? And so I am so grateful that we have these superfoods. Is there anything else that you'd like to add? Wonderful. Thank you so much, Boo, for coming on and sharing today. And I want to go ahead and pass it over to Sherry. I know you have some great stories as well with some clients and maybe some stories of your own that you'd like to share as we are coming into this time of life ourselves as young grandmas.
Have to throw that in there, huh? Yeah. It's true. No, it's true. And even what I just said now, I feel like that's such a it's become the way that we look at it. It's like this period in our life. It's like, oh no, like here we go, hold on tight and hope and hope for the luck of the draw that it won't be so bad, but expect it to be bad because that's just what it is. And it's unavoidable. So Boo, I love that you said, we do not need to suffer. It's like, yes, we don't need to suffer. And I think that I've had several clients. I've had many clients in perimenopause. I have many, many clients in menopause, and I have a few in menopause. And that is the generalized, every single one, everybody seems to think that, that they don't know that that's an option. They think that it just has to be a certain way and that there's no avoiding it. And can is there something you can give me to kind of just numb it or make it a little bit easier? And that's still that mentality of, a pill for the ill, right? Like, what can I take to kind of just numb the symptoms? It's like, what if I told you that I can do better than that. I can help you get to the cause, the root cause of what's going on. And I can help you nourish your body in such a way and take care of your gut microbiome that your body will in turn take care of you really well through perimenopause, through menopause. And well into the rest of your life, even without it being painful. It doesn't have to be painful. We don't have to suffer. We don't have to feel all of these symptoms. So I love that. And that's why this call is so important, is to get that out there, because I feel like that's one of the things that is still so misunderstood. Menopause, all of the symptoms of menopause are considered so normal. unacceptable, we accept them. We shouldn't be accepting them. And that's why I was so excited about the article, because it's showing that, even a medical field is sort of getting on board slowly and recognizing that there's a lot that we can do. And first and foremost, what we do is we protect our gut microbiome. We repair it, we nourish it, and then we protect it moving forward. And that is going to work wonders for us. And it's the single most important thing that we can do, no matter what we're dealing with in life, especially in this case where we're talking about menopause. So it's one of the most important things that we can be doing. And the clients that I've helped in perimenopause are actually excited moving forward now, because now they have these tools. Because it's very important to me that as a holistic nutrition and health coach, I don't want my clients to start relying on me. Like, I want to show them, I want to give them the tools, I want to empower them. That's what it's about. It's about sharing that empowered feeling that I learned myself. And so I went to get my degree in order to be able to do that more acceptably, right? But it was always with the goal in mind of empowering others. So, giving them these tools and having them move forward. One of my closest friends had just turned 50 this past weekend, and she was so nervous. I remember 2 years ago when she was like, okay, we need to sit down now, because you're such a great friend, but now I need like health coach Shari, and I need you to tell me, like, I'm getting worried, I'm feeling all these symptoms, and I feel like it's around the corner, and turning 50 in 2 years, and I want to be in the best shape of my life. And I have heard you speak long enough to understand that, I have some control here. So tell me what to do. And I remember it like it was yesterday. We sat down in her living room and we had, I think, what was like about a 2.5, almost 3 hour conversation. And they, from there, her and her husband became avid Purium client customers. Like, they order every single month, and they just keep adding on more. It's 2 years in, and they're just adding more and more. And she has her routine set. She has her dark berry every single night with her apothecary right before bed. She has her power shakes during the day, her super aminos, her biomedic. Like, she does it all. And she said that at first it took some getting used to adding these things into her routine. But now she says, it's looking back, it was so effortless, really. In the moment, it was like, oh, I have to remember to take this and this. And she said, I remember when you were giving me, all the instructions, it was like, okay, taking notes, trying to remember. And she's like, and now, that little bit of upset that it caused in the first week or so of just kind of remembering to do all these things, she's like, now it's second nature. And we celebrated her on Saturday. They had a beautiful backyard party. They had a musician, and and she danced well. She out danced me, and she was there much longer than I was. I called it the night much earlier than she did. And she's feeling amazing. And now she's sharing that with people, because she's like, people need to understand, like, specifically women need to understand that we don't have to suffer in this period of our lives, and it could be a lot of fun, and we could celebrate it instead of fearing it. And I think that that's so important. And at the core, we're just talking about nourishment. We're just talking about nourishing our bodies. I love everything that you said so much. Like, I'm gonna go back and listen again, because you just nailed it exactly. It just, when it comes down to what you do for your body today, what are you going to do for your body today that is going to, give back to you, that's going to benefit you? That investment in your body, it yields unlimited dividends, right? Because we don't just want to live long, we want the quality of those years to be there. And life should not stop, adventure should not stop, fun should not stop just because we're entering this new stage of womanhood. Like, womanhood, it should be another area that we celebrate, right? We celebrate girls becoming teenagers, getting their periods for the first time. We should be celebrating ourselves in this stage of life as well. And not just celebrating it, yeah, let's throw a party, but really we feel crappy inside. It's like, celebrate it because we feel amazing, So, and I guess that's my addition. I'm just so happy that we're having this conversation, because the awareness in here is so important.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sherry. And yeah, being able to, that's really why we're here doing what we do and sharing what we learned, or highlighting stories of others that have had great success, is really to inspire others, because that's what we're here to do. There's so many women out there suffering and wishing they had a solution. And we have this tool at our fingertips, and we just have to get it to the people that are looking for it. And so I'm so grateful to have these superfoods at my fingertips and to be able to share them. And I wanted to share one of our recent Little wellness goal recommendation books that I really love. And right here, you'll see, let me see if I can figure out how to toggle this page. Give me just a second. I think I can zoom in here. Um, and so right here for female hormone balance, their Super Life formula can be really helpful. Just rest assured, Super Life formula is one of our 2 non-vegan formulas. So it does have green lipped mussel in it and velvet deer antler, both that are, you know, no harm was done to the animals. They're harvested ethically for their medicinal properties for hormone balancing. And so Super Life formula is a really great one for balancing hormones. The pineal clear is also helpful for balancing hormones and helping with memory and cognitive function and deeper sleep. Just trying to see if I could go closer, but I guess I can't. Women's Defense is a really amazing blend specifically for women's hormones. So that could be added into an ultimate lifestyle transformation experience. And then the barley greens juice is also really great for regulating your blood sugar as well as your hormones and your mood and so many things. I mean, it's so great to get that chlorophyll into your body and get that. It's really feeding your blood. And so it's really important that we fuel our blood with those healthy dark greens. And then also, if you look right above that, if you are feeling like you're losing hair or have thinning hair during this time, we do have the Renew Hair, Skin, and Nails, which is really helpful for creating collagen, which is awesome for anti-aging, but also helps to grow skin, hair, nails, and really healthy. So, and then what marry that with the dark berry protein that Sherry just talked about that her client takes with the Cherry at night. This is a collagen protein shake, which is absolutely delicious and can really help to just give them the proper protein, a ton of nutrients. It also has herbs in it and mushrooms to help with cognitive function and memory. So it can, a lot of these superfoods, you're taking one superfood, but the side effects that come with that superfood are going to help you with a myriad of other things that you may not even have known or realized that you needed help with. So that's what I love about these recommendations is that all of the side effects are healthy side effects that and things that we could look forward to that maybe we didn't even know we wanted to be looking forward to. So that's amazing. Men's Defense can help with hair. This is for men's hormones, but it's a really incredible blend. So if you're a man with hair loss, maybe your husband or somebody that you know is having hair loss, then this could really help them in their protocol. I think we already have this covered with our Women's Defense with the hormonal balance below, but spirulina is nature's multivitamin and can be really helpful in getting your body all the things it needs to also create really healthy skin and hair and really, you know, give you the nutrients you need. It also can boost your immune system and has so many incredible benefits. And if you look at these recommendations, what I love and something that I just alluded to is that you might be taking one of, say, the dark berry protein because you want to have stronger hair, but you'll see also it's going to help you with more better collagen. It's also going to help you in other areas as well. So, you know, getting a healthy protein source and whatnot. So all of these superfoods have more than one thing that it can help you with in your body. And I really love this wellness goals recommendations to help you kind of fine tune what it is that you might be looking for. And then, of course, as we look into the healthy aging over here on the right, we have the Apothecary, which comes in the ultimate lifestyle transformation pineal clear that I mentioned with the female hormones. So it's also going to help with anti-aging, the super amino 23 that comes in the ultimate lifestyle transformation, revive it all, which also helps with, you know, your brain and cognitive function and memory, and then super life formula. So you'll see that these are cross-referenced several times in different areas of benefits that you might be looking for. And even when you do the ultimate lifestyle transformation, you can see that the components of that package are several times within all of these recommendations. So I just wanted to point out where you can find all of this, because when we post the replay, we always post the links that we share here. And so I wanted to make sure everybody has access to that wellness goals chart so that you can look at it for yourself. You can also use it to help you create recommendations for your friends or clients and really dive in there as well. Sherry, is there anything else that you would like to share?
No, I mean, I think you covered it all. You mentioned all the different superfoods that I would have, suggested as well. So, I mean, I think we're good.
Wonderful. So our other guest didn't come today. I'm not sure what happened, but we'll bless them. And I just wanted to see
Naeva, I have something I'd love to add to what you just shared with the
absolutely.
the nutrients. I love that table and I do send it to my clients. And I have another client who she follows the program religiously and she really loves the collagen pack. And she adds BioRegen and BioRelax. She said they really help her on a daily basis. And then she keeps the Revive It All on hand. I too keep Revive It All on hand. It's great for those days when you just need a mental pick-me-up. And I also like to add in sometimes is the American ginseng, the white American ginseng. That is an amazing afternoon pick-me-up. I really love it. And as you were going through the cheat sheet, I call it, I also, for variety, because I'm an everydayer, I do my program every single day. I've been with Pure for many years. And I like to have a variety of shakes so that I don't get bored. And one of the ones I love is our Super Meal Love. It is just so nutritious. That was one of the things that that said, I don't do this 7 days a week, 365, but I want to. There's no way I could buy all the ingredients that are in the Super Meal Love. And you can do it 50-50, mix it with another one if I think the flavor is lovely. I like it on its own. And the other one that people add, especially for weight management, is the fiber. Our daily fiber is so delicious. And I do spirulina every day. I really love adding the spirulina. Sometimes I'll just make, if I'm having what do we call it? A flex meal, right? I'll have some frozen bananas and I'll throw in a scoop of spirulina and blend it up and have a really nice drink. It's so amazing and very satiating. And what the greens do, what the chlorophyll does, it helps to slow down the absorption of the sugar. So if the sugar, we spoke about sugar earlier, right? How it's our anti-age. It's like we don't
Everything.
want, we don't want sugar in our body. However, fruit sugar, as long as it's got the fiber, that makes it that's a game changer. So have as much fruit. I'm basically fruitarian in summer. I do fruits and salads and then some seeds, but seeds come from fruits. So I consider myself very high fruitarian in summer. In winter, I'll add some lentil soups and steamed vegetables. But those having a rotation of the different ULTs, you can buy a different one each month. You can buy some extra ones and then mixing them, matching them. It really helps to keep the variety. Yeah, and ultra processed foods, you have to get them out of your life. Ultra processed foods are also, they just put your hormones out of whack. And the acrylamides that, I'm getting nerdy now, but there's foods that just don't serve our body and they don't belong in our body. So when we do that subtraction by addition, we'll stop eating those high fried foods and chips and things that don't belong in our body. So sorry, I just wanted to share a little bit more.
No, I love that. I love all of those additions. I'm sorry, Naive, I didn't realize. I thought we still had another guest. I was like, oh, I don't want to say too much more because I'll just let the guest speak. But okay, so I loved all those additions. The love meal. I just want to speak about the love meal for a moment because I remember when I was first going over, when I was brand new to Purium and I was looking to see, by my first order, I did the ULT plus immune, but then by my second, I wanted to order a whole bunch more and try different the different superfoods. I was blown away by the ingredients in Love Meal. I have never, and I mean, and I love Power Shake is like my ultimate favorite. I still have every single day I have a Power Shake, if not two. But Love Meal, I've never come across ever in my life any supplement, any powder that has this many nutrients in it and how it's going to help for menopause. Many reasons. There's maca in there, like we spoke about. There's the adaptogen mushrooms. So adaptogen mushrooms are really important for menopause because they're going to help you. So stress is a big factor that can impact the symptoms of menopause, right? It goes without saying because when we think of what stress can do to our hormones, stress in and of itself at any point in our lifetime, even children, right, will, or like teens will see a disruption of their hormones if they are chronically stressed. And so we want to try to get our stress under control as much as possible while, we are human and the reality of the situation is that we can avoid stress altogether. We can help the body better adapt to stress and better get through that stress with it having very minimal effect on the body. And so during menopause and perimenopause, but during menopause, an additionally important time that we try to, deal with our stress as best we can without it causing too much disruption because it will further disrupt those hormones. And so adaptogens in general, adaptogen mushrooms are so important here because they actually help the body process that stress. So the Love Meal, I all summer long, it was my favorite drink last summer and most likely will readapt it in for this summer as well. I would blend it up in my blender with a little bit of ice, frozen banana, and 2 medjool dates. And I'm telling you, decadent, like so good. I look forward to it every single day. It's just really delicious. And even if you just do it with water or do it with a plant-based milk, it is so delicious and so full. It is a meal. Like that is my definition of being nourished and nourishing your body. The Love Meal is the way to do that. And also I just want to touch on all the greens that you spoke about, Boo. Absolutely. The more greens we can incorporate into our daily routine, just the healthier your body is going to be. Because really what aging takes place when the body degenerates faster than it regenerates. Okay. So we want to be eating our body in every which way that we can to help ensure that we are supporting the regenerating process, not the degenerating process. And so avoiding processed foods, avoiding sugars, all of that artificial stuff, all of those are going to, of course, add to the degeneration process. Whereas the more of these raw, organic, dehydrated superfoods that we can add into our daily routine, the more we are supporting the regeneration process, which again will just help make this transition so much smoother.
Absolutely. So many great tips and tricks and it's all just so helpful, because what it all comes down to is just nourishing our body properly. And I love what Boo said about subtraction by addition, right? We're adding in, we're flooding our body with these nutrients. And like Sherry mentioned earlier with her client, at first it could seem a little bit overwhelming at first, right? You're starting something brand new. It's something maybe you've never tried before. But as you're adding in these superfoods, it's going to help you feel so much better in your body that it's going to become something easy. It's going to become second nature. It's going to become a habit. And that's what we're here to really encourage, our healthy habits that are really simple and effective. And then as time goes on, you may choose to add additional items, a few months in, a year in, you might notice that there's different other components that you want to add into your regimen. And at that point, it will be less overwhelming to add in a couple things here and there because you have your baseline. And so I really highly recommend that you get started with an ultimate lifestyle transformation of your choice. Of course, the person that shared this with you can definitely make a recommendation as to the best option for you. But we really highly recommend that you start you start somewhere, right? You have to get started and you add in these superfoods, and then slowly you can start subtracting the things that are no longer serving you. If you notice that when you eat the bread, you're bloated, you don't feel good, stop eating the bread, right? If the dairy is no longer serving you, start eliminating dairy. All it takes is adding in healthier habits, and then it makes it easier to let go of the less healthy habits, and maybe even discontinue craving some of those things, which is what has happened for me, is I no longer crave a lot of those things. And over time, your taste buds will change, right? The more alkaline you become, the more you'll start to enjoy these green flavors and fruit as sugar, right? Having a fruit as a sweet treat instead of a candy bar or other things. And so you can start to transition these habits. It takes time and you have to be willing and wanting, but we do have a ton of support and so many superfoods at our fingertips that you can add into your daily life. So really appreciating all these tips and tricks and stories shared today. Do either, Boo, you have something else to share?
Yes. So it's essential to stay in community. If the one thing I learned from starting this 20 years ago, I would not be here if I didn't have community to support me. And also, one of the things that inspired me to come into Purium is the fact that they profit share with us. Because as we get older in life, we want that time and location freedom. But what are we going to do for a continual income? So these are added bonuses of embracing health and helping each other. And basically, I look at this as an investment in my health every month that I get to eat and then I get to help others. And I think that's a very important part of it. And the fact that we are an environmentally friendly company, that's nourishing to me from the outside in, because the sustainable farming that we embrace, it tells me that our food is coming from a deep source, and the regenerative farming that we do. So those are added benefits that you just kind of triggered that in me, Naeva. I was like, oh, I really wanted to add that in. So thank you. Yeah, you're in the right place if you're here.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing. It's always so great to have you come share, and the more voices, right? We're all in this together. And like Boo mentioned, the nutrients is only half of the puzzle. The next step is, if you are looking at retirement and you're like, I don't know how I'm going to do this in this second half of life, then, join our community and just become a part of the community. And it starts really with you using the products and feeling really great in your body, and then it will come naturally that you'll want to share this with others. And so that opportunity is always there for each one of you. Thanks for bringing that to the table, Boo. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and share a little call to action with you all. Super excited to have you all here. So we've done some watch parties for Common Ground the last couple weeks, and it's been really great. And so there are a couple things that I would love to share with you all. Is that Common Ground actually has a petition that you can sign. So we'd love for you to watch, join, and take action. Together we can create a tipping point for regenerative agriculture. And as you know, with Purium, we really do support regenerative agriculture in our own produce that we bring, but we also want to help support other farmers to embrace this practice as well. And through the Common Ground film, as well as Kiss the Ground, the movie, both of these has brought a lot of attention to regenerative farming. And so they have a petition right now where you can go ahead and just sign the petition and start receiving information about how you can take actionable steps with this movement. So this is outside of the Million Mom movement, but it's something that we're passionate about. We'd love to invite you to go and, you know, sign up for their newsletter and go ahead and start supporting local regenerative farmers, right? Find a map that's associated in your area. You can learn more about how to read labels. You can subscribe to their newsletter. You can go ahead and share their toolkit, which is really fun. They have some fun social media stuff there. You can host a screening. So if you want to host your own screening for Common Ground or Kiss the Ground, you can host your own screening. So if the time that corporate has allowed didn't work for all of your guests, you can host your own showing. You can also transition your farm to regenerative. If you have a farm or you know somebody that has a farm, you can help guide them. So there's some great downloadable guides. Eat regenerative food, there's another downloadable guide, and then start a regenerative garden. So I wanted to point you all in this direction to just give you some tools and resources, because I love to share resources with you all. And so I'll go ahead and drop this below in just a second. But first, if you click on host a screening, it will take you over here where you'll have this Common Ground video. You can watch a trailer here, and then right here you can host a screening. So you'll see on the right, it will, you know, you can get inspired by watching the preview, and then it gives you the steps of how to host a screening. And then it lets you choose Kiss the Ground or Common Ground, the film. So you can choose which one you'd like to show. And so this is that process. And so all of these links, oh, it looks like they have other ones as well. So you can browse other films that they have, but the one that we're recommending right now is the Common Ground, the film, the new one that just came out. So sorry to confuse you all. I didn't mean to do that. But I will share the initial link right here in the comments. And then the links are always shared with the replay in our Million Mom official group as well. So feel free to join us in that group. And Sherry, I will pull up this last screen if you want to go ahead and close us out. And we will keep next week's subject a surprise, as we're still fine tuning what June's presentations are going to be. But what we can say is that June, we are going to be focusing on men's health. All of May, we focused on women's health. Now we're going to be pivoting to men's health. So start reaching out to all the men in your life that you think would like to come and learn more about Purium and what we have to offer here. And the next 4 presentations will be geared towards them. So I'm going to pass it over to you, Sherry.
Perfect. So don't forget to like, follow, and share. So on Facebook, you can like us on Facebook at the Million Mom Movement and join our community, our Facebook group, Million Mom Movement Official. So that's where we post the link for the replays, and we post a lot of great information there. And we're always, if you're already part of that group, actually, and Naive and I were just talking about this the other day, that we'd love for you to, start participating, I guess is the right word, or just engaging, comment on posts, perhaps, ask us some questions in there and share. So you can also follow us on Instagram and tag us in your stories and your posts on Instagram. Don't forget to hashtag us. Naiva does an incredible job at finding your posts and reposting things that you share. So you can use the hashtag Million Mom Movement, or I am the Million Mom Movement, or we are the Million Mom Movement, or all 3. And then, of course, last but never least, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's where you get the access to all of our replays. Like I said, when I first joined Purium, I just went on a binge of watching all of the replays on YouTube. It's such a wealth of information. So great to listen for yourself, but also to share with others.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Sherry. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you, Boo, for coming and sharing your voice and your story and your knowledge with us. I appreciate you all, and I will see you next week.